since tomorrow is Veterans Day, we would like to take this moment to express our profound respect, adoration, and gratitude for the service of our veterans. And in our midst, I know today is Bob Rankin, back there, who served in the Army. Raise your hand, Bob.
All right, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. And if you are a veteran, if you would please stand so we can warmly thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for what you did. Okay, I'm going to introduce Shelley Norden, who is going to introduce her students and also the Quill and Scroll organization.
Excuse me. Quill and Scroll is an international high school journalism honor society that recognizes and encourages both individual and group achievements in scholastic journalism. It was established in 1926, and it was founded by the University of Iowa. And tonight we are inducting our first members in the county to this chapter. So I'm going to have each one of them come up and talk about who they are and why they enjoy journalism. Sam.
Be sure to say your name and what school you attend to.
I'm Samantha Barr. I attend Kettle Run High School. I'm a features editor on the Chronicle, and my favorite part about journalism is putting together a publication with this amazing group of individuals.
Line up right over here.
Come on down here.
Hi, my name is Maddie Basie, and I go to Kettle Run, and I'm an editor of the yearbook, and I enjoy making memories with my friends. Hi, my name is Melissa Basie. I go to Kettle Run High School. I'm editor-in-chief of the yearbook, and I like yearbook because I get to make my mark on Kettle Run history.
Hi, my name is Jacob Brown. I go to Kettle Run, and I'm the news editor of the Chronicle at Kettle Run High School. And I like journalism because of the writing style, because I like writing articles rather than something like an English paper.
Hi, my name is Emily Harding. I go to Kettle Run, and I'm a yearbook editor, and I like it because it's interactive, and I always know what's going on around the school.
I'm Katie Harper. I go to Kettle Run, and I'm the managing editor of our newspaper, and my favorite part about journalism is being able to put my love of sports into my writing.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Hamza Malik, and I'm editor-in-chief of the Chronicle, the newspaper, and my favorite part is creating archives of information that we can look back on years from now and create memories.
Hi, I'm Jessica Miklas. I go to Kettle Run, and I'm an editor for the yearbook, and then I'm also a news anchor for the morning announcements. And my favorite part is to share and report all the news from a student's viewpoint. There we go.
Hi, I'm Bree Thomas, and I go to Kettle Run. I'm managing editor of our yearbook. I enjoy being a part of Kettle Run's yearbook just to be a part of Kettle Run's history.
Hi, I'm Grant Thomas, and my favorite part of, I go to Kettle Run. I'm a staff reporter, sorry. My favorite part of specifically sports writing is creating your own perspective on a game or an athlete that you can share with others.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is read your oath. So, it is our honor this evening to induct new student members into the Quill and Scroll, an international honor society for high school journalists. To become a member of the society, a student must be at least a sophomore in high school, have a B cumulative at grade average, completed superior work in high school journalism, be recommended for the Quill and Scroll by the journalism advisor or a committee governing the high school's media, and be approved for membership by the Quill and Scroll executive director. Tonight, we are receiving 11 candidates from Kettle Run High School into the Quill and Scroll. And you guys are coming forward already. And please raise your right hand as you pledge to uphold the aims of the Quill and Scroll Society by answering "I do" at the conclusion of the pledge. Do you pledge that you will be true to the ideals of the Quill and Scroll Society, and in whatever field you choose to enter, you will always painstakingly seek the truth? Will you strive to aid the best interests of the community and be a responsible and reliable worker? And do you pledge to do all in your power to aid in the cause of better journalism? If you assume these responsibilities, please answer, "I do." I hereby declare you members of the Quill and Scroll Society. And students, as I call out your names, please come forward. And if a couple of you could come up also and help, that would be great, because we have many things to hand out. But as I call your name, please receive your certificate and your pin and your cord and your all this other stuff. Okay? All right, Samantha Barr. Congratulations. Maddie Basie. Did I pronounce that right? Melissa Basie.
Okay, good, okay.
We didn't practice the logistics of this, as you can tell. Jacob Brown. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Emily Harding. Katie Harper. Congratulations. Hamza Malik. Congratulations.
Hamza, congratulations.
Jessica Michaelis. I think I got it right. I had to remember. Bree Thomas.
All right, congratulations.
Congratulations. And Grant Thomas.
You're the little sports guy, right? All right.
Congratulations. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Norden. Thank you. Okay, now we go on to announcements. The Mountain Vista Governor's School Board will meet Thursday, November 13th at 8 a.m. in the Warren County School Board office. The November Personnel Committee meeting will be held Friday, November 14th at 8 a.m. in the School Administration Conference Room. The November Finance Committee meeting is canceled. There will be a Parks and Rec Co-op meeting Tuesday, November 18th at 6 p.m. in the Alice Jane Childs Building Basement Conference Room. Chairman's Night will be Monday, November 24th at 5 p.m. in the School Administration Conference Room. And there will be a special school board meeting and work session Monday, November 24th at 6 p.m. in the School Administration Conference Room, which will include a pre-budget public hearing, which means people can speak for what they want us to consider in our budget. So be sure to be there if you want to do that. The November Building Committee meeting is canceled, and there will be a Health Advisory meeting Wednesday, December 3rd at 8 a.m. in the Central Complex Building Conference Room. And there will be a Special Education Advisory Committee meeting Thursday, December 4th at 5:30 p.m. in the Central Complex Building A Conference Room. The next school board meeting will be Monday, December 8th at 7 p.m. in the Fauquier High School Falcon Room right here. Okay, citizens' time. Citizens' time is community involvement is very important to us and a component of a successful school division, and the school board welcomes your input. Please be respectful of all speakers and limit your comments to 3 minutes, and matters relating to personnel or personal matters, issues cannot be discussed. And again, I just want to reiterate, if you have something that you're going to speak, if you could make sure you email that to clerk@fcps1 so we could get a copy of it, that would be wonderful. Okay, John Green.
Good evening. John Green, Lee District, and I do some writing, and some people like it and some people don't. That's the way things go. I'm here tonight to comment on the school board's present and proposed policies regarding how library materials are selected. We need a policy that allows students to use the materials that are going to be adequate in bringing them up to date on what's going on in the world. It's got to be fair and it's got to be balanced. Schools are for learning. Students deserve a fair representation of the facts and the issues. The present policy and the proposed changes that are coming up do not assure that balance that we're seeking, in my opinion. The library materials selection policy, your policy, begins with the Library Bill of Rights, published by the American Library Association. If these policies were actually followed, we would have no problems. They bring up points like this. They want all points of view represented. They challenge censorship. And no materials should be removed or omitted because they are partisan or doctrinal positions. These policies were really used. I would have no complaints. I don't think anyone would have any complaints. But they're not being followed. The ALA, American Library Association, is a progressive liberal organization, and it has an agenda. And it has for many, many years. The organizations that review high school library books controls what is accepted in our libraries. Because in your policy, one of the things you must have is a recommendation on the book. It comes from the ALA, and they select books that suit them. It might not suit the needs for the high school and all the students. So we are in a situation where the librarian can buy a book if it's accepted, recommended by the ALA. Now, Virginia Code wants us to have community values involved with our school. And if we're only going to have a recommendation and a librarian making the decision on what books we put into our libraries, we're not going to have the balance that we need. The current proposed changes do nothing to assure the balance. I recently offered to donate a book, America. Imagine a world without her. Initially, my offer was refused. You couldn't find a review for the book. A few weeks later, I was told my donation would be accepted. I believe the change came because school realized you didn't have a policy to cover that. Proposed policy change is really no change. It just adds donated books to the present policy. Under the proposed new policy, America would not be accepted into the libraries. The book seeks to challenge the view of America as a bad country. It presents important factual information. We need a new policy that will offer balance to the materials in our high school libraries. All the major points of view should be represented. How else can we ensure our students that they'll be fully informed in making their decisions? Today, many Americans doubt the goodness of our nation. This is due largely to revisionist history. I don't doubt that some of our history was presented with rose-tinted glasses in the past, but that's no excuse for grossly misrepresenting American history, as some have done today. We must seek out the truth. We owe it to ourselves and to our students. We need a policy that ensures our high school libraries are fair and balanced. Just as an example, we have two books that I've looked at in the last several months. One, Two Boys Kissing. It was recommended, high recommendations. The school librarian wanted it, goes in. Parent complains, overridden. All right, that's fine. But this is about homosexuality, and sure, we have to talk about that. But it's social engineering with our kids. And we're talking about kids who are minors. They're under 18. Now we have a book, America. It's about American history, and it brings up a lot of good points, a lot of points that I've wondered about our history. And it makes it easy, at least easier for me, to understand some of these points. And yet, under the existing policy and the one you plan to pass, it wouldn't be allowed in the school library.
Well, can you email us your comments and what recommendations you do have for our policy? Would you do that?
I would do that.
Okay,
And I thank you for the
Okay.
opportunity to speak with you.
thank you. Okay, Helen Wurst.
Thank you. Since the meeting in May, when they made the decision to do the survey for later start times for our schools, the American Academy of Pediatrics came out with recommendations on August 25th, 2014, and I just wanted to bring these to your attention. The American Academy of Pediatrics is composed of 62,000 pediatricians, and having worked at the FDA with them, I can tell you that when I was at the FDA, I worked in the Center for Biologics, which regulates vaccines, and we work closely with them. They don't make recommendations until there's a strong body of research that supports the recommendation that they make. And recently, in this article, they said that although a number of factors, including biological changes in sleep associated with puberty, lifestyle choices, and academic demands negatively affect middle school and high school students' ability to obtain sufficient sleep, the evidence strongly implicates that earlier start times, and they define that as before 8:30, and our start time is a full hour before that, is a key modifiable contributor to insufficient sleep. And they went further up to strongly support the efforts of school districts to optimize sleep in students and urge high schools and middle schools to aim for start times that allow students the opportunity to achieve the optimal level of sleep, which is 8.5 to 9.5 hours for adolescents. This would improve the physical, mental health, safety, academic performance, and quality of life for our students. And if our students who wait for a bus at 5:45 rushed and got up at 5:15 and had 30 minutes to eat and get to the bus, they would have to get up at 8:15 they would have to go to bed the night before at 8:15 to get 9 hours of sleep. It's just not going to happen with a teenager. So I think with this strong recommendation that the school system has to have a compelling reason not to follow their guidelines. And irregardless of the survey results, we need to do the right thing for our children. I don't know what the survey results will show, but this is really compelling evidence. It's evidence-based, it's scientific research, and they don't make these recommendations lightly. Thank you for your time, and thank you for considering this.
Thank you. Laura Henson? Henson. H-E-N-S-O-N.
Hi, I'm Laura Henson, and I have a son in elementary and middle school. I stand before you today and request that we shorten this debate on the later start times and get on board and make a decision in favor of later start times for middle school and high school. In January of 2013, Virginia Delegate Kay Corey introduced legislation HB 1894 that will require public school instruction start after 8. And now there is a groundswell of support for such legislation from advocates around the country who are frustrated by the delay and the lack of action on the part of the local school boards. Despite all the research and documentations and recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics and other sources which support later start times, we still require our students to be at school at 7:30 and get on buses at 5:50 in the morning. The lack of sleep affects the academic achievement and athletic performance, yet we accept the notion that popcorn is unhealthy and can no longer sell it. What happened to common sense? And how did the nutrition of popcorn become a priority over sleep? What a double standard. As my son's baseball coach will tell the boys as they watch a ball go over the plate in the strike zone, now that you know what it looks like, see that again, take a swing. Don't just stand there and watch it go by, swing. I urge the board, stay in the batter's box, don't step out, and take a swing like other schools have done. Let's stop wasting time debating. Throw the ball and hold on, and stop holding on to it. Let's start teaming up and forming community advisory committee groups to work out the details, the same issues that other schools faced with later start times, such as child care, teachers' contracts, flex time classroom instruction, the calendar, and transportation. Opponents of the later start times focus on budget concerns and interference with extracurricular activities like jobs and sports, but we know the evidence shows this change is cost-effective, and school divisions with later dismissals continue to provide competitive extracurricular programs. We know that Fairfax is changing their times. They're spending $5 million on transportation. They have the resources. However, I have found schools that have saved money in transportation as much as to the tune of $750,000. Instead of this attitude of how much will it cost, how about the mindset for the opportunity to decrease costs and produce a savings? We have lots of ideas out there to discuss and share. We want to play ball too. It's a team effort, but you have to throw the first pitch with a later start time. In closing, Loudoun County Public Schools community has built programs around existing school schedules, and in comparison, their high school starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and ends at 3:48. I wondered, how long have they been doing this? And in my research, I found they've been doing this since 1954, the last 60 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Rick Buchanan?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Buchanan. I live in the Cedar Run District. As reported in the Washington Post in 2008, Fairfax County conservative Christian students and parents tried to donate more than 100 books to more than a dozen high school libraries. The books were produced by Focus on the Family and included such titles as Marriage on Trial, The Case Against Same-Sex Marriage, and My Genes Made Me Do It, a scientific look at sexual orientation. The county librarian said the books did not meet, quote, school system standards, unquote, and had to include 2 positive reviews of, quote, professionally recognized journals, unquote. Books that did make the cut in Fairfax County libraries were Baby Bebop, which was the coming out story of a gay teen, which includes descriptions of his sexual encounters in bathroom stalls with men he never talks to, as did Love and Sex, 10 Stories of Truth, which describes a gay teen's relationship with his tutor. In July 2009, controversial author Robert Spencer, who has written extensively on Islamic radicalism, was set to participate in a panel discussion at the ALA's annual general meeting. The panel was titled Perspectives on Islam, Beyond the Stereotyping. But ALA canceled the panel after Ahmad Rehab, the executive director of the Chicago chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, that's CARE, wrote a letter to the ALA and issued a press release saying Spencer expressed, quote, grotesque viewpoints that lie well outside the bounds of reason and civilized debate, unquote. Whether one supports or opposes Spencer's writings or the pro or anti-gay books is really beside the point. The point is that the ALA has staked a claim as the vanguard of free speech, protecting the expressions of ideas, quote, some consider unorthodox or unpopular, unquote. By its own broad definition of censorship, the ALA declined to stand against censorship. In these instances, the ALA essentially violated 3 points of its Bill of Rights: protecting all points of view, challenging censorship, and cooperating with all persons and groups concerned with resisting abridgment of free expression and free access to ideas. As you consider your policy regarding the acceptance of donated books in the future, I suggest you consider the facts I've just told you and what reviewers you choose to select these books. Two Boys Kissing is just one of the most recent examples. And the book America by Dinesh D'Souza would not even be considered because the ALA refuses to even review it. The ALA, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, does not reflect the values of the community here in Fauquier County. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Is there anybody else who would like to speak who didn't have a chance to sign up? Okay. Board reports. Mr. Gorg.
Well, I will report on going around for Bus Driver Appreciation Week. Thank you for all who participated in that. And I guess it's Carol we really have to thank for putting a lot together.
Carol and Ginger.
And
Carol,
Ginger.
could you name the names? Carol?
Ruth.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And the bus drivers did appreciate that, but I also think they just appreciated being recognized, and probably a brief conversation with an adult while they're on the bus with a bunch of kids. But it isn't a group that we do need to continue to appreciate, and I think that they really got it, that we listen to them. They are a valuable part of this entire school family. So thank you for everybody who put that together.
You read my notes, didn't you? I was going to say the same thing, but, Ginger, thanks to you and Carol and all the folks who worked so hard to put those packages together in a short time period.
Oh, my little bit of candy.
Again, thank you.
Anything else?
I was not here for the building.
Building committee, we pretty much covered that earlier when we had talked about the CIP. And other than, I know, Ms. Bourne and I also got to hand out candy at Liberty, but we had the extra pleasure of being entertained by, I guess, the pep band, because it would happen to be home game for Liberty that night, and they always play in the mornings in the lobby right before school starts to get everybody going, and boy, that's a way to wake up, let me tell you. So it was great. Yeah, it was great. And we already talked about this, but I'll mention it again. We all had a great visit over in Mountain Vista several weeks ago. I guess we went to 4 different classes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and boy, it was great. And that's all.
Ms. Reardon?
I have nothing to add except to thank Ginger and everybody else for what they did for the organizing everything for the bus drivers. And I know that as a parent of 2 children that rode those buses for probably more years than they wanted to, they really do a fabulous job. And we put the most important part of our lives in their hands. So it's good to thank them.
Like Donna Grove always says, the bus drivers are the first person the children see and the last ones they see every day. So they're very significant employees. Dr. Jeck?
2 things. I was able to attend the Auburn Middle School 10th anniversary celebration Friday, and it was pretty amazing. The level of organization that went into putting that on is pretty remarkable, but great turnout. But talk about amazing. The Saturday, the regional junior senior orchestra competition or recognition performance here Saturday was, we overuse it all the time, but just awesome. Awesome. In the juniors, I think sounded to me as good as the seniors, and juniors are grades 7 through 9, and amazing. And it was kids from about 50 high schools in and around the region. I think we had about a half dozen of our kids represented, but wow, just remarkable. The level of talent within that auditorium was just amazing. So hats off to those folks.
That's it?
That's it.
The only thing I have is to report on the Health Advisory Committee. Mainly, the Health Advisory Committee is concentrating on to come up with suggestions for our student health policies, so we're working on that. But one of the great things about the Health Advisory Committee is the people from the health department who attend and give us statuses on all these things that are going on. And she gave us an update on what's going on with the Ebola whole stuff in Virginia. And to date, she reported on Wednesday, no high-risk exposures have been identified in patients listing Virginia as their final destination. And then earlier this month, the health department presented to the Fauquier County Public School nurses all about the Ebola virus, the countries that people are coming from, background information on it, and information on current about Virginia Health Department's response. So Fauquier County Public Schools are being kept up to date. And about the flu, we're entering the flu season, and we just want to make sure that the health department, she wanted to make sure I announce that the health department is offering 3 free vaccinations, one in Madison, one in Culpeper, and the one at Fauquier is on Monday, November 17th from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Bradley Elementary School. So if you want to get a free vaccination, there you go.
I'm surprised that neither you or Dr. Jeck mentioned trivia night. Mountain Vista's Governor's School.
You know why I didn't mention it?
Hey, folks, I just want to take a moment, first of all, to thank everybody who participated. And you are looking at 3 of the smartest board members in the world up here, including Dr. Jeck. Our team, Dr. Jeck, Pat Barr, Sally Murray, Stacy Griffith, myself and my wife Renita, and Peter Schwartz and his wife Ann, we took second place out of 22 teams. Extremely proud. We were ripped off by #1 team over here. But we had a lot of fun, and it was very, very interesting. I hope to see many more people participate in that event next year. We had a ball.
It was great.
Sorry, Brian.
We play somewhere.
It was
a
really
great time,
tough.
though, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right, financial report. I know Ms. Kostoff is out of commission, so we got Janice Bourne.
She is, and I'm in a very distant second place to present this report. Fortunately, this is the report for the first quarter, so a lot hasn't happened for the first quarter. And we are pretty consistent with prior years. At this time for the school general operating fund, we've received 22.2% of our revenue, and we've spent 24.3% of our expenditures, which is pretty consistent with last year. Expenditures are up slightly, but that's because of the very slight raise that employees received. For the asset replacement fund, that fund still has money. That's a harder one to compare year to year just because of the level of different projects that occur. But at this point in the year, we've spent about $1 million. And there is a transfer that's pending with the county that I believe they're going to address on Thursday that will provide some funds for both the general fund as well as the asset replacement fund and also the textbook fund, which there have been textbook purchases that have put this fund what appears to be in a negative balance, but there's a significant transfer that's pending for the textbook fund this week. And then school nutrition fund is also pretty consistent with last year. Some of the revenues are down because the state and federal revenue hasn't been posted at this time, but the expenditures are consistent with the exception of personnel costs that are up slightly because of the salary increase of 1%. Any questions?
No, that was very good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, HR report.
Ms. Downs is out of commission also, so I'll be Ms. Downs tonight. We have several vacancies, both classified and certified, elementary, kindergarten, middle school, science and PE, and also teaching hearing impaired, speech and language pathologist, and teacher early education and special education. Classified employee vacancies include instructional assistant, 3 roaming custodians, 10 school nutrition workers, computer technicians, and bus drivers.
10 school nutrition workers. Okay. Wow. All right, any questions on that? Okay. Consent agenda.
I move that the school board approve the following: the minutes of the October 13th school board meeting and October 27th special school board meeting and work session, the monthly bills and payroll, personnel actions consisting of 1 newly hired teacher, 8 newly hired classified employees, the acceptance of 1 teacher and 1 classified employee retirement, and 10 classified resignations. The revision of policy 6-3.9 programs for students with disabilities, and the revision of policy 6-5.6 instructional and supplementary materials, and religious exemption 111014.1.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second that the school board approve the following minutes of the October 13th and October 27th meetings, monthly bills and payroll, personnel actions consisting of 1 newly hired teacher, 8 newly hired classified employees, acceptance of 1 teacher and 1 classified employee retirement, and 10 classified resignations, revision of policy program for students with disabilities, and revision of policy instructional and supplementary materials, and religious exemption 111014.1. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. Okay, information items, later school start time survey.
All right, we are on, I guess, the 4th draft of the School Support Council / Fauquier County Public Schools later start time survey. The survey was, just to remind the board, the survey was developed in conjunction with the School Support Council. This is an initiative begun by the School Support Council. The board and the superintendent were, well, the school board was presented in May of 2014 with information from the School Support Council about later start times. It was agreed that we would study and collect more data through a survey. That's how the survey, that was the genesis of the survey itself. At the last school board meeting, I presented a draft to the school board of the survey. That draft had already been vetted by the School Support Council. I presented it to the school board. There were several edits to the survey that were recommended, and I made all the requisite changes, which included a reiteration of the independence of the survey in terms of it being a School Support Council initiative. Also, emphasis on the fact that it was a survey that should include all relevant stakeholders within the community, not just parents, teachers, and students, but also relevant stakeholders or interested stakeholders within Fauquier County schools, which brought us to the third recommendation, was that we emphasize the fact that it was for Fauquier County residents only, the survey. Number 4, we dropped the emphasis on the word any. And number 6, we added 2 columns, or created 2 columns, one for K-5 and the other for 6 through 12, relative to what's the earliest a student should be at a bus stop. So the recommendation was that we add a column for K-5 and then 6-12. Also, on number 7, there was a recommendation that we include language about if the change to start time impacted local budget, current local budget, would that change your opinion of later start times? And so we added that, or cleaned that language up in number 7. And I brought that survey back to the School Support Council last week. They didn't recommend any changes or any additions to the survey. It was good as is. So you don't need to approve this or vote for it, but if you have additional recommendations, I'm glad to hear them. I can share them out to School Support Council. We don't have a meeting until December, but I can share it with them through email or telephone and let them know what the changes were if you have some that you'd like to see recommended tonight.
Anybody?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm ready to roll.
I'm good, too.
Score?
I would only say on question number 5, there have been some constituents who've said, we want to consider this, but I still would like to look at school start times closer to what we have right now. I think the survey, though, we don't need to add that. I just want to point that out on question number 5.
Okay. Unless you were to add another option that just said,
keep it the same.
No, just, do you have a different?
A different, or maybe an option. That might be, yeah, that might be good.
That's easy enough done.
Right, as you did somewhere.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's good.
Okay.
That's not going to hold it up, though, right?
No.
That's like a minor change, right? Minor?
Okay, good.
Minor.
All right.
Okay, I'd say we're ready to roll.
Great, okay.
Okay, that's good. All right, action items.
I'll move that the school board adopts the FY16 budget calendar with the caveat that it may be amended to meet deadlines or to add additional budget work sessions.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second that the school board adopts the FY16 budget calendar with the caveat that it may be amended to meet deadlines or add additional budget work sessions. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes have it. Anything else before we adjourn? We're good? Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
You're too slow.
Thank you.
You're too slow.
Story of my life.